and welcome to my weekly video blog, and today on A Vogel Talks Menopause I'm going to be talking about 3 more health risks you may be vulnerable to during the menopause. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. Last week I talked about 2 health risks, that was osteoporosis and thyroid issues, and I thought today that I would cover 3 more that I do get asked questions about. Number 1 is carpal tunnel syndrome. This is something that can happen out with the menopause. It's not necessarily a menopause symptom, but it's one of these ones that you can be a lot more vulnerable to. With the carpal tunnel syndrome, it's basically to do with one of the main nerves to the hand that links the thumb and the first 3 fingers. And this nerve runs through a sheath in the hand. And we know that if circulation is affected, and very often in the menopause, low estrogen can affect the little blood vessels, circulation, if that's affected, then it can cause this tunnel to shrink and to contract, and it can end up trapping this nerve. And what happens is you can get tingling, you can get numbness in basically the thumb and these 3 fingers. And very often this happens at night. So you wake up in the morning with this pain and discomfort in either one of your hands. And some people do find that just shaking their hands can help to dissipate the symptoms. So that's a good little tip. If you find that shaking your hands can relieve the discomfort, then it may well be that you need to get this checked out by your doctor. So in this situation, it is important to get medical advice, because if you get it diagnosed early enough, there are physio exercises that you can do regularly that can help to prevent it from deteriorating. If it goes on for too long, sometimes you end up having to have an operation to relieve the nerve, and obviously it's not something that you want to end up in hospital with. You can take herbs such as ginkgo biloba. If you find that you also get cold hands and feet a lot, that can be an indication that circulation to these areas are not very good, and herbs such as ginkgo biloba can often be really effective for helping with this. You can maybe check out some exercises that you can do online as well. And sometimes it could be dehydration, so again, just remember to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water on a regular basis. Maybe a little bit of extra water just before you go to bed can sometimes ease symptoms. Number 2 is a stroke. This is a really, really serious one. And the problem here is that it's something that just very often happens and there is no warning. Unfortunately, women, especially post-menopausal women, tend to be at a much higher risk, and this can sometimes double after the menopause. So it's really important to keep an eye on your cardiovascular health, keep your heart healthy. Very often the symptoms that can contribute to stroke are issues such as high blood pressure. And again, high blood pressure is a common menopause symptom that you may not realize you have. There are very few symptoms with it. So I would say this is one of the health issues where it is important to get yourself checked regularly. Not every day, I have some women that get so panicky that they end up taking their blood pressure every day. That's going to cause stress. So maybe just, I know in the UK you can go and ask at your local pharmacy to get your blood pressure checked. So maybe once every few months may be quite a good idea. Smoking can be a contributory factor to stroke, excess weight, and we know it's much easier to put on weight in the menopause and it's much more difficult to get it off. Alcohol is another one, and general diet. High cholesterol can be a particular issue with stroke too. So this is one, if you are worried about it, if this is something that's happened in your family, then it may be an idea just to discuss preventative measures with your doctor. Number 3 is kidney stones. This can be excruciating. I know women have told me that kidney stones are more painful than giving birth, but it can be really, really sore. This can happen at any age. It can happen to men as well as women, but women of middle age, that's 40 to 60, which is the menopausal years, seem to be much more susceptible to kidney stones. And a huge factor is dehydration. And we know that falling estrogen can affect your body's ability to keep itself hydrated. So you're going to be much more vulnerable to dehydration, and that in turn can make you much more vulnerable to kidney stones and also kidney infections too. So you need to look at drinking plenty of water. And also, if you're getting hot flushes and you're getting night sweats, then that's going to compound the dehydration. So loads of water on a daily basis. So you're looking at maybe 1.5 litres over and above your other drinks or to take. Kidney stones, and especially kidney infections, and even if your kidneys are just a little bit dehydrated, you very often get lower back pain, and a lot of people will mistake this for spinal issues. So if you're regularly getting a pain just lower back at each side of the spine, then again, maybe just double check with your doctor. Also, signs of dehydration would be very strong coloured urine, and very often your urine will have a very strong smell too. So if it's anything like this, first stop, loads of water, and if symptoms persist, then obviously get some medical attention. Look at your diet too. Alcohol can be a big issue with kidney stones, and also if you have a high salt diet too. So maybe just go over your diet and make sure that you're keeping these things to a minimum. So I hope you found these interesting and helpful. And as usual, if any of you have any tips, then please share them with everyone, and I'll be really happy with that. And until then, I will see you next week for another edition of A. Vogel Talks Menopause.